So your next project is going to be a pet abstract portrait. I have different pictures of different animals that you can choose from. I chose this dog to do. In my sample here I have a cat. This time I'm going to do a dog. So what you're going to do is pick which one of these animals that you want to do, and then you're also going to get a piece of this tracing paper like this. You're going to take the tracing paper, put it over top of the photocopy, and you're going to just trace the outline of the animal. You don't need to get into any kind of detail at all. You just need to get the basic outline. It's going to be just like a line drawing of the animal. And again, detail doesn't really need to be put in. So you need basically the eyes, the mouth, ears, that type of thing, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to get the nose in here. There's a tongue. I added some of the markings in of the dog, and that's it. Okay, so I have the dog outlined here, and then what I'm going to do is take my drawing paper then. I'm going to put this down like this, and then I'm going to put my name on it, my number, okay, put it over, and then I'm going to take my tracing paper. I'm going to put the pencil side down like this. So I'm basically flipping it over. Then what I'm going to do is go around all of my lines again to do what's called a transfer. So I'm going over everything like this. If you need to get a piece of tape to tape down your picture to make this easier for you, you can certainly do that. And anytime you need to pause the video, you should do that as well. Okay. Now you really have to go over on top of the line so that it transfers over onto your paper. All right, so there you go. Now I have some kind of, I have to go over some of this. It's not going to be a real dark on here, so you may have to go over some of your lines a little bit. You might have to kind of connect the dots a little bit as well if you have some missing areas. So if you need to go over anything, you should do that. Okay. Now, the next thing you're going to do then is take your Sharpie and you're going to go and outline your dog. So I'm going to continue with the outline. Like this. Okay. Now, I can erase any kind of smudges or smears or anything like that that have been left behind, like this. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do is just draw some shapes within the different areas of the animal. So I'm going to go and just make these kind of amoebic, kind of organic spaces like this in between. So it kind of makes it look a little bit like it might have some spots. On it. Like that. And then I'm going to go ahead again and outline those areas as well. Like this. All right, now once I have that all outlined, again, I can just go with my eraser and get rid of any stray marks again. And then with my pencil, what I'm going to do is make kind of like a zigzag flowing line that goes from one corner up to the next corner. And it's kind of like if you're on a windy road, you don't want it to be too crazy, but just a nice curved line, and it's not too close together, that goes through your paper like this. And then again, I'm going to go over that with my Sharpie, like so. Like that. And then again, I can erase any of my stray marks. Now, once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go back in, and remember those like little amoebic shapes that you put in there? You're going to do the same thing in background. So I'm going to go in here like this, and I'm just going to kind of retrace all these shapes in here like this. Maybe I'm going to put another one in here like that. So you might want to double up in some of them. If the space is big enough. Maybe you're going to do like one here, and then maybe you do another one in like this. Okay. And again, with your Sharpie, you're going to go around it like so. And outline everything like this. So now that I outlined everything with my Sharpie, I don't need that anymore. I can erase any of the smudges that I might have. Again, straight pencil lines throughout the whole thing. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to pick the colors. So the colors that you're going to do are either the warm colors or you're going to do the cool colors. So this last time I did the cool colors. So I did the green and the blue and the purple. This time on this one I'm going to do the warm colors. So I'm doing red and orange and yellow. Okay. Now I can also pick the lighter or darker versions of the colors. So if I want to do red, I can also pick out pinks if I want to do that. Okay. I can pick out anything that looks like orange and anything that looks like yellow as well. Okay. And then that gives you a little bit more flexibility with color choices. Now I like to do the the animal part first, but you basically can fit anywhere if you want. You can start anywhere. And what you're going to do is just outline each area and then fill it in. So I'm going to start with this color first, and I'm just going to outline it, fill it in with nice marker lines like this to keep it nice and neat. Now, you don't want the same color next to each other. So I'm going to just go like this and kind of spread this out along my whole picture so that I don't have two of the same colors. You can turn your paper if you need to. And I'm just going to scatter this color basically throughout my entire picture. Now once I'm done doing the first color, I can go back with the second color. So maybe now this time I'm going to do this red, and I can go in and add this into different areas. And again, you don't want two of the same color next to each other, outlining it, and then filling it in with nice marker lines. And you want it so that no touch it, unless it's like in a corner, then it can. No two of the same color. And I'm going to go throughout this whole thing until I have the entire thing colored. Once you have everything colored, what you're going to do then is the counter and pick out one of the three colors that you use your picture for the background. Okay, you're going to use all three colors. So I did the warm colors. So I did red and orange and yellow. I'm going to use all three of those colors, but I'm only doing them one at a time. You're also going to need one of these sticks as well. It has a point like this, and then also has this back part here. That's the part we're going to use. And what you're going to do is just dip this in the paint, and in your background, you're going to add things to it. So I dipped it in the paint like this. And then what I'm going to do is just do some dots like this. And I'm going to go back and forth between the paint and my project. As soon as the paint starts to wear out, I can go back in and add some dots. And they're nice and controlled like this. And then I can go to the next spot. And you're going to keep going until you don't want to use the red anymore. And again, this is just the background only, so I'm not doing this on the dog's face at all or body. I'm only doing this in the background, and then that way then we have a nice contrast between the face and the background, and then you can see the face a little bit better. So I'm going to keep going back and forth like this. Notice that I'm turning my paper so that my hand doesn't get in the way of the dots. And I'm going to keep doing this until I have everything that I want red done. Now, I'm not going to do over on this here because I don't want again the same color to each other. So I'm going to put that over this. And then I'm going to here. I'm also going to put the red on the because I do want it to show up. Unless it's like pink, then I'll put it on that because it'll show up on that. I'm going to put it on this red, the darker red here. It's subtle. And definitely on the pink. And like I said, I'm going to keep going until I have everything that I want red. Now, that doesn't mean that I might go back and add red to a different spot. Sometimes you need to do that. Now, once I'm done with that other color, what I'm going to do is get a palette, a different stick. Okay, this the red stick I just put back with the red palette so that somebody else can use it. And then I'm going to do the same process, only using now yellow. And I'm going to add that now to my different areas. Again, dipping it into the paint, going back and forth, and doing some nice, controlled, neat dots. And this is only going to be done, once again, in my background, not in any other area. So I'm going to not anything with the dogs because again, I want to have nice grass between the two. You can see it's a little bit easier. Now I'm going to keep doing this until I'm done with the yellow, and then I will go back and I can get the orange and add that on there too. Put black as well, black dots as well. You can do that if you look at my finished sample. Move the dog aside, and you look back at the cat that I did. You'll see that I also added some black dots along here as well. So once you're done with all this, done for the painting for the day, then what you'll do is put it on the drying rack. And once you're finished for good, you'll take the black Sharpie and you'll write on the bottom your first and last name so everybody knows that you did it, and then you'll turn it in.